Huh?
You are lying on the couch right now, in your mind, scrolling through excuses not to go to the gym. Your body feels heavy. Your motivation feels thin. A voice inside tells you to just rest a little longer. You call it laziness. You feel guilty about it. But the real answer is far stranger than guilt. That voice is not broken. It is ancient. It has kept humans alive for 2 million years, and it is still running the same program today. Why does doing nothing feel so good? Why does your brain fight so hard against effort, even when you know effort is good for you? Something deep inside you is calculating a cost before you even move a muscle. That calculation was not designed for gyms or deadlines. It was designed for survival on a landscape that would kill you for wasting energy. Every calorie your body burns today was, for most of human history, a calorie you might not get back. Food was not sitting in a refrigerator. It was buried underground, hidden in a tree, or running away from you on 4 legs. Energy was the most valuable currency a human body could hold. Spending it carelessly could mean starvation a week later. So evolution built a brain that treats unnecessary movement as a threat. This is where the story gets interesting. Herman Poncer, an evolutionary anthropologist at Duke University, spent years studying the Hadza, a hunter-gatherer community in Tanzania. Their days are physically demanding. They walk for miles. They dig, climb, and carry heavy loads. Poncer expected their total daily energy expenditure to be far higher than that of a sedentary office worker in a Western city. His measurements showed something almost impossible to believe. Despite dramatically higher activity levels, the Hadza burned roughly the same total calories per day as people who barely move. How can that be true? The body, it turns out, is not a simple machine where more movement always equals more total burn. Poncer's research pointed toward what is now called constrained energy expenditure. The body appears to have a kind of internal budget. When physical activity goes up, other systems quietly scale down. Inflammation, stress hormone production, and certain reproductive functions can shift to compensate. Your body is not trying to maximize output. It is trying to protect a fixed pool of energy no matter what you do with your day. This single discovery reframes everything about laziness. Your body is not failing to keep up with modern demands. It is running an ancient budgeting system that assumes calories are scarce and irreplaceable. It assumes every joule matters. It assumes tomorrow's meal is not guaranteed. Picture the environment that built this system. Early humans on the African savanna faced constant scarcity. A missed hunt could mean days without meat. A drought could wipe out edible plants for a season. Under those conditions, an organism that moved only when necessary had an advantage over one that moved for fun. Restlessness could get you killed. Stillness could keep you alive long enough to reproduce. This is not laziness in the way modern culture defines it. It is a finely tuned risk management strategy, refined across hundreds of thousands of generations. The brain that tells you to sit down and rest is the same brain that once told a human to avoid an unnecessary chase across open grassland where predators were watching. Daniel Lieberman, an evolutionary biologist at Harvard University, has spent much of his career studying human physical activity through this exact lens. In his research and writing, Lieberman argues that humans were never evolved to exercise for its own sake. Physical activity, in the ancestral world, always had a purpose. You moved to find food. You moved to escape danger. You moved to reach water. Movement without a clear survival payoff would have been an evolutionary mistake because it burned resources with no return. This explains something almost every person has felt. Going for a run with no destination feels harder than walking briskly towards something you actually want, like a bakery or a friend's front door. Your brain is not built to reward movement itself. It is built to reward movement that solves a problem. Modern exercise culture asks you to override that ancient logic, and that override takes real mental effort. The resistance is not only physical, it lives in your mind as well. Daniel Kahneman, a psychologist known for his work on human decision-making, described 2 systems operating inside your brain. One system works fast, automatically, and without much energy cost. The other system is slow, deliberate, and mentally expensive. Kahneman referred to the mind as something close to a cognitive miser, constantly looking for the easiest path to a decision. Thinking hard, focusing deeply, or forcing yourself through a difficult task draws on limited mental resources, much like physical movement draws on limited caloric resources. This means the mental fatigue you feel after a long day of decisions is not a personal weakness. It is the same ancient energy conservation system applied to thought instead of muscle. Your brain treats deep concentration the way your legs treat an unnecessary sprint. Both cost something precious. Both get resisted by default. Now the picture becomes clearer. What feels like laziness is often your body and brain silently asking one question before every action. Is this worth the energy? For most of human history, that question kept people alive. Choosing rest over unnecessary effort meant surviving one more famine, one more harsh winter, one more dry season with no guaranteed food. Consider a lion resting for 20 hours a day. No one calls a lion lazy. The lion is simply following the same logic your body follows. Predators that expend the least energy while still catching enough food to survive outlast predators that waste energy chasing everything that moves. Efficiency, not effort, is what nature rewards. Humans are no different underneath the surface. Your instinct to avoid unnecessary movement, to sit rather than stand, to scroll rather than train, is the same efficiency algorithm running quietly in the background of your mind. So why does this feel like a problem today? The environment changed far faster than biology could keep up with. Food is now available at every corner. Physical effort is no longer required to survive the day. Yet the energy conservation instinct built for scarcity has not disappeared. It cannot simply be turned off because supermarkets exist. Your brain still behaves as though famine might be one bad season away, even while surrounded by abundance. This mismatch between ancient wiring and modern environment is sometimes called evolutionary mismatch. Bodies built for scarcity now live inside a world built for excess. The result feels like internal conflict. Part of you wants to move, improve, and build a better body. Another, older part of you is still guarding calories as if your life depended on it, because for nearly your entire evolutionary history, it did. Understanding this changes the emotional weight of laziness. Guilt assumes moral failure. Biology reveals something closer to outdated software running on new hardware. The urge to rest is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is proof that your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do in an environment it was never designed for. Does this mean effort is impossible? Not at all. Understanding the mechanism gives you leverage over it. When you know that resistance to movement is not a personal flaw but an ancient energy calculation, you can work with it instead of fighting it. Giving movement a clear purpose, the way ancestral movement always had one, can reduce that internal resistance. A walk toward a destination feels easier than a walk toward nothing. A workout tied to a specific goal feels less costly to the brain than exercise for its own sake. This is the quiet power hidden inside what you once called laziness. It was never a flaw in the system. It was the system working exactly as designed, built by millions of years of scarcity, refined by every ancestor who survived long enough to pass down that same cautious, energy-protective instinct. Tonight, when you catch yourself resisting the gym, resisting the extra task, resisting the long walk, remember what that resistance actually is. It is not weakness. It is not failure. It is a 2-million-year-old survival strategy, still running quietly beneath your skin, still convinced that every calorie might be the one that saves your life.
See you next time!